And so I just went back and forth just to help, just design this, design that, but never having the idea of coming back, never. In '98, it was me that came up with the idea because what I saw here, you could see the difference. From '95 to '98, that was only 3 years. You could see, I mean, I tell you, Glynda, when I came here, we left in '68. I came back in '75. I was like wondering, I mean, I was only a college student. I was like, what's happening here? Okay. Then my grandfather died in 1988, and I came back in '88, and I was like, what is really happening here? There's something wrong. And then when I came back in '95, oh, I just could not believe the state of the school. Just could not believe it. So I guess in essence you could say I got the bug. I wanted to be part of the institution, and not because life is better here or anything like that. There was definitely a big sacrifice that we made. I had a talk with my wife. It took us a year to decide to transfer here. I closed up my office, which was doing really well. I had 8 employees. I can tell you now, I'm not bragging, but I was earning $10,000 a month, dollars, and I went from 10,000 to 500. That's insanity to do something like that. But the mission was here. I felt that my presence here was more important than my presence in Hawaii. So I packed up the family. We all agreed. We came out here. And we supported my father, okay? So from '95 up till now, there were 3 people. First was my father, then it was me, then eventually my mother. And what we like to present is, you judge for yourself. 15 years from today up to '95, you judge for yourself what has happened in this place. And you judge for yourself what had happened between '95 and '68. And you can judge for yourself what happened between '68 and '49.
So why can't they appreciate that? I mean, the other family members who are probably looking at the difference between the foundation of yesterday and the foundation of today. How do you look at that kind of attitude, considering that it appears that that is not at all appreciated, and that what we heard is that you actually, with premeditation, that your family, your mother, yourself, or probably even your father, had orchestrated so that eventually you will be on top of the school?
Well, you'd have to ask them that question, because I never get a straight answer, okay? You can construe just about anything you want from certain situations, but I never get a straight answer as to why these issues keep cropping up, okay? Now,
are they planning to sell this, or is this something that is that you suspect that the other group would want to do so that they can get their share of the school?
No, it's impossible to sell it, because in the bylaws it stipulates that if it is sold, the proceeds go to a scholarship. So you can't take from it as an individual as you would with a stock corporation. You can't.
So they probably think that you're making a lot of money here, huh? So that when they take over, they'll, I mean, maybe that, I mean, I don't know that, but I'm asking you, are you making money here, your mom and you, in this school?
Well, we're earning salaries that are comparable to other institutions in the country. But in terms of making money, I'll just say this for myself personally. I don't have any assets in the country other than my construction company. But we have that temporarily. When it's built, we sell it. So it's not even a permanent asset. I do not own a home in Hawaii. I'm renting. I don't make enough money to even think about buying a home in Hawaii. So, I mean, I'm comfortable. But am I making hand over fist? I wish.
So how do you look at all this, Dean? I know it is frustrating, because then at your vantage point, as I understood you, you would like to somehow underscore the basic mission for why Foundation University was founded, and then here we are. Do you consider this a serious threat, looking at your own point of view?
You know, I can answer that in several ways. As an architect, you have good clients, you have bad clients. You can't pick them. You try as best as you can. And when you end up with a bad clients, you don't walk away. You can't. You have to finish the project. And in the end, it's always the hope that you can turn this bad client by having him appreciate what you've done for him. It's the same philosophy here, that not necessarily you have bad and good clients. We just have an environment that at times is not necessarily conducive to work. Okay? But on the other side of the token, we have graduation every year, and we are constantly reminded as to why this institution must remain viable. Okay? That was the fervent wish of the founder, and I see it year after year. And so, for me, that pretty much erases most of the frustration for a year. Or I shouldn't say erase, but let's say alleviate. Yeah, it tempers it. Because, you know, look at this. I'm not making any money, but people are happy. Okay? That's the same thing with architecture. With architecture, I was making a comfortable living, but the main thing was to my wife's chagrin, and not making much money, but at least everybody's happy.
So with this, there's a group that I understand is now looking at the legal, trying to question the position on the legal sense. They've sent their lawyers, the battery of lawyers that are studying it. So how are you answering that, Dean?
We have our own battery lawyers also, and we've pretty much come up with a pretty good, strong defense. We're confident. We have examined the bylaws, we have examined the corporate laws, and we feel that we are covered. Yeah.
So you're saying that when it was postponed, the postponed meeting that was postponed, it was not deliberate. It's not something that Dean would concoct so that he's not going to be able to answer some of the questions that these other members would like to throw to you during that meeting.
No, actually not. There are some things that we were forced to look at because of the question of the terms of certain trustees, and actually it's helped us in administering the institution, because even though this is not a family corporation, it was run like a family corporation, and I have to say that on the legal side, it has created a lot of problems, and I know that our students, our employees, our teachers would like to see a more even playing field. Okay, and so that's what we're doing. Now, as far to answer your question, no, it wasn't concocted, because I tell you, we were applying for level 3 5 years ago, and because of one simple mistake that we committed, here we are 5 years later, and it's frustrating for me because level 3 is semi-autonomous. That means as an institution we can come up with our own programs without being handcuffed by governing agencies. I mean, it's just we have so many ideas, we have so many ways to service our clientele, but without that level 3, we can't do it. We have to go through the process, and everybody knows the government process is just so drawn out. So this is very, very important to the institution.
So how would you want this? How would you want this issue to end? I know that when an issue like this is at the back of your mind, it's going to affect. I don't know if the students and the faculty members will also be affected. The public will probably have divergent point of views because, as you said, depending on which side you are, So how would you want this to end, Dean?
Well, there is another institution in this city that has the same mission, founded by a different race, of course, but parallel missions. And I believe that the mission of the founder, my grandfather, was that this eventually is to be an institution that's going to be guided by its own constituents. Okay? That doesn't necessarily mean it's always family. I believe that family maybe should be at some sort of administrative level, either as a corporate member or as a trustee. But I believe eventually, because, hey, I'm going to die one day, okay? I have no ambitions for my children or my wife to take over if I die, like some political dynasties. No, I have no ambition there. That if any of my children want to do something else, I'm fine with that. We are on a path to professionalize the administration. The administration doesn't require anymore. As a matter of fact, it's in our bylaws that it doesn't require a family member to be administrator. That was already put together by my grandfather. He already had the vision that it doesn't have to be a family member to see that this institution succeeds. And that's the direction I want to go in. If I go out and none of my children or even my brother's children take over, and it's let's say a professional academician, I'll be happy with that as long as the school sticks to its mission. I'm okay with that.